Has your dog just eaten a grape? Perhaps they've eaten a whole fruit loaf containing a huge amount of grapes and raisins. Yes, grapes and raisins are poisonous, and yes, I'm going to tell you how to work out if your dog needs veterinary treatment. I will, however, preface this by saying that when it comes to grapes and raisins, there are no hard and fast rules or guidelines. And while one grape may be enough to cause issues in one dog, one grape might have absolutely no effect whatsoever in another dog. Now, this may be due to individual dogs with different susceptibilities, or it may be due to the grapes and raisins containing various levels of whatever the toxic substance is. And I will discuss this more soon. But just note that if you see a grape toxicity calculator, just ignore these. These are highly inaccurate, and you could be lured into a false sense of hope for your dog. And we definitely don't want that to occur. Hi, I'm Dr. Leigh, a veterinarian with over 20 years experience, and I'm the founder at Your Vet Online. We're a telemedicine company providing 24 hours, 7-day a week vet consults for all animals. We absolutely love helping you with your animals, so be sure to subscribe and click the little bell so you never miss any of our health tips and advice. What causes grape toxicity in dogs? Okay, well, anything that belongs to the 𝗥𝗶𝘀𝗶 species can cause a toxicity. So that means grapes, raisins, raisin bran, currants. The only thing that's not poisonous is grapeseed extract. Who knows? Back in 1999, the Animal Poison Control Centre first reported on the poisonous nature of grapes to dogs when they noticed a whole big cluster of dogs that became seriously ill after eating grapes or raisins. It's taken a really long time to try and work out what the toxic substance is. Over the next 2 decades, veterinarians have diagnosed illness while we've just never known what the actual toxic agent was. Could it be the seeds, the skin? Was it a pesticide on the skin? These are all eliminated as causes, and the reasons for grape poisoning in dogs has remained elusive. And to deepen the mystery, as mentioned earlier, the degree of illness was really inconsistent between dogs. For example, my old girl Pippa, she used to love eating grapes, and I've fed her plenty of grapes and raisins with never an ill day. Totally unbelievable. Don't do that. It was way before I was a vet and knew better. Thankfully, though, researchers have noticed some of the similarities between some toxicities of dogs who had been eating Play-Doh containing cream of tartar. So scientists started to investigate, and now it appears that tartaric acid and its salt, potassium bitartrate, are the actual toxic principles in grapes leading to these acute kidney failure instances in dogs. So what does all this mean? This is where we get to talk wine for just a little bit. Well, the winemaking industry has known for quite some time that tartaric acid levels in grapes vary in concentration with the type, the growing conditions, and also the degree of ripeness, which may explain why it has been so hard to pinpoint what the toxic dose is and predict the outcome for some of those dogs that have eaten these grapes and raisins based on the amount that they've eaten. There are still quite a few investigations required, but hey, this is pretty exciting, and it may well someday lead to the ability to actually estimate a toxic dose based on the type of grape and the tartaric acid content. Whether that sort of information would be easily accessible is a completely another issue, but hey, in the meantime, I do recommend that you keep your dogs away from any grapes, raisins, raisin-containing foods, as well as those homemade Play-Dohs containing cream of tartar. All right, what do we do if our dog has eaten grapes or raisins? Well, as I've already mentioned, there are no hard and fast rules. We just cannot guess how many grapes or raisins may affect an individual dog. I've seen dogs who've eaten one grape and become azotemic. That's when they've got signs of kidney damage. And because of this, it is recommended that you discuss with a vet about your dog's individual risk profile. So our vets are actually available 24/7. If you need to speak to a vet right now, I'll put the link above and I'll put it in the description if you need us. The decision whether to actually get vet care depends on a few things. 1, size of your dog and how much they've eaten. 2, how long it's been since they've actually consumed the grapes or raisins. And 3, whether they're showing any clinical signs, especially vomiting. We now know that if they've already started to vomit, you need to take them to the vet immediately. Now, if you've just noticed that your dog has eaten grapes, raisins, or foods containing these, then you can induce vomiting at home. Take a look at our video. I'll place a link above and in the description, which will tell you how you can induce vomiting in your dog from things that you might have at home. So what signs might my dog show that indicate they've got grape poisoning? Well, the vast majority of dogs will show absolutely no signs of illness or ill health until they actually become azotemic and their kidneys are damaged. That's why if you see your dog just have one vomit, if this is the only message I've got for you, if you see your dog vomit after having some grapes and raisins, you need to get them to a vet now, like yesterday, like ASAP. Get quick, smart, chop chop, go to the vet, see you, bye, stop watching. That's how serious it is. Go to your vet straight away. They need some hardcore treatment. If you don't get them there ASAP, you're going to pretty much be risking their life. However, there are some other signs that your dog might show, but they're not very specific for grape poisoning. So they could have things like diarrhea, abdominal pain, anorexia, abnormal urination, so sometimes too much or not enough, maybe none at all. So those are all symptoms that they might have, but just remember, vomiting is your number one sign that you need to go to the vet, and I can't stress that enough. So what will the vet do? If you've chosen to treat your dog and they haven't actually started showing signs of illness just yet, then your vet will likely suggest some treatments and some bloods and urine sampling for monitoring, and advise you to go home and monitor for signs of vomiting. If you haven't induced vomiting, they will do this unless it's been more than 24 hours since ingestion. They'll take a urine sample for specific gravity. This basically shows us if the kidneys are functioning. And they'll take bloods for a renal panel, so that includes things like PCV, total protein, urea, and creatinine. The treatments that your dog will probably get will likely include subcutaneous fluids and activated charcoal. It's highly unlikely that the vet will recommend that your dog stays in hospital unless any of these tests show signs of kidney damage. Then the treatment needs to become far more aggressive with IV fluids and monitoring of urine output. How to prevent grape poisoning. As always, prevention is far better than cure. So keep your fruit cake, your hot cross buns, your Christmas mince tarts well away from your dogs. Don't be tempted to share with your dog, even if they are giving you those big, begging puppy dog eyes. And ensure you watch your children when they are eating boxed raisins and clean up after them really quickly. Yes, I know, easier said than done. And also just note, be really careful at cafes. I've seen so many situations with lots of raisins on the ground because the kid has been kept amused by a box of raisins and of course throws them everywhere. If you are worried, our team of vets are always available to chat to. Sadly, it is hard for me to give you an exact rule, but we can guide you on your individual situation. Ultimately, if your dog has eaten grapes and raisins and you see them vomit, then you need to get them to the vet ASAP. Vomiting is a sign that your dog has already got issues with their kidney. So the more time you leave before getting and seeking help, the more damage that will occur. And sadly, dogs have been known to die from eating grapes and raisins. All right then, guys, hope this was helpful. If you've got any questions, pop them down below. They're actually really interesting. Have you ever, well, has your dog ever eaten grapes and raisins, and have they been affected by it badly? I know, as I said earlier, my old girl used to eat them a lot and was never affected. I don't, and I never, ever would want anyone to try that with their own dogs though. You just never know what might happen. All right, tell us what your experiences has been down below, and we'll catch you in our next video. Cheers. See you for now.